is our World Cup Moments. It's on every Friday here on the AM show. Straight into action, we want to welcome onto the show now Coach Joseph de Graft, who's joined us again. We loved him last Friday. He's here again. Good morning. Thank you for coming.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. All right. Benedict is right by me. Yeah. I'm in his pocket, so I couldn't have suddenly sat anywhere else. Selwyn will also join us. And then, of course, Kojo is here.
He is.
So let's begin. Is it fair to say that the first round fixtures, at least everybody has had, everybody has played? So,
yeah.
So I can ask Coach, how has it been so far?
For me, it's been great. You know, the worst thing in the World Cup is, he's going to beat, this team's going to win, that team's going to win. But the surprises have said, no, if you miss this game, you might miss a cracker. And that's exactly how it's been. That's some great surprises. Germany get beaten. Mexico, the perennial underachievers, come out fighting like lions and blowing them away, literally blowing them away. The Germans were shell-shocked. Nigeria, they, seriously underperformed. And the other African countries, oh my goodness gracious. And the thing is, I was just thinking that it's from the coaching side, it's much easier to coach a negative side to become positive than to have a positive side becoming negative. And that's why the Africans have done so badly. The coaches are basically getting them to play negative football, hit on the counter-attack, but that's not African football.
Can we go back to the very beginning? Let's look at the opening match. Did you think Russia was going to get 5-0?
No. I'm going to say the honest truth. I think the Prince and Vladimir Putin had something going there. Because after the first goal, I saw Vladimir Putin reaching across to shake the Prince's hand. The Prince or Sheikh's hand, you know. You see the difference between the Saudi Arabian first game and the next game was like night and day. So which means for me, the Saudi Arabians for the first game seriously underperformed and they helped Russia. Having said that, I did not expect 5. I mean, I said before, the Russian team, I don't think the Russian team are that good, actually. And I'm very surprised that they've done what they've done.
They were the lowest ranked team going into the tournament.
Even forget the ranking, it's just the performance. You know, for me, they weren't very good at all. And I was looking to basically see them possibly drop out, you know, not going to the next round. But hey, as life goes, they've succeeded. And
how much of that would you attribute to the power of the home advantage?
Oh, there's a lot in that. Look, after the Confederations Cup, I mean, if there was Gulag in Siberia was still existing, prisons were still existing.
That's the handshake on the screen.
Thank you, you see? That's the handshake, you confirmed it, you see? After their Confederations Cup performance, if Putin could have sent some of them to the Gulag or Siberia, he would have sent them because they were so bad. So I think they learned then that, look, come out here, win or lose, you've got to put 100% in and give a good show. And for me, full credit to them. Even if they hadn't won, they have really come out, you know, all guns blazing. And I clap, give them a clap.
Yeah.
They've done very well.
Let's pull Benedict into the conversation. So after that thrilling Russian start, of course, Argentina, Brazil, they failed to win.
Yeah.
Did you see that coming?
Yeah, for me, it's been a tournament of surprises so far. One that on paper, you would say that this team straight away will win, but when you go into the action proper and on the pitch, you get something different. It happened with the Russian team in the first game. I mean, yes, on paper, both teams didn't look quite good. Russia coming into this tournament had lost 7 of their last games. And even as coach intimated, Vladimir Putin as well as the Russian people didn't have any hope in this team at all. I mean, for them, they were criticized, they were chastised. Their manager, even some were calling for his exit before the tournament. But see what they did. In the first day, they managed to score as many as 5 goals that they've not scored in their last 7 games. And their second game as well, they did very well. The game involving Brazil and Switzerland. I mean, yes, on paper with the players of Brazil and how well they performed at their club level coming into this year's competition, and also the trial matches they played, you straight away will say that Brazil will whitewash Switzerland. But they drew, and even Brazil labored in that game. The game, Argentina's game against Mexico as well. Yes, on paper you are playing against the defending champions. He presented a team that won the Confederation Cup, a team totally different from that won the World Cup 4 years ago. And what did we see? We saw the likes of Hernandez, Layun, Machalin, and beating Mexico. So for me, it's been a tournament of surprises, and it's been great, especially when you sit somewhere and predict that this team is going to win, and then it turns out to be a different team winning.
Yeah, I'm wondering what's happening with all those betting. But Selwyn is on the board for us. Selwyn will take us through the first group. Let's see how it looks like right now, Selwyn.
Well, so we can see in the first group, obviously, as you guys spoke about Russia, they're leading with 6 points after 2 games, beating Saudi Arabia 5-0, and also beating the Egyptians. And Uruguay also have won 2 games, beating Egypt and then Saudi Arabia. That puts them in 6 points at the moment, with them 2 goals in favor of them. Russians have 7 goals advantage. The Egyptians, suffering the defeat, have scored 1 goal and conceded 4 goals, and at the moment they have -3 and they have 0 points. Saudi Arabians also haven't scored a goal in this tournament but conceded 6 goals and have -6 when it comes to goals, and they have 0 points. So right now the Egyptians and the Saudi Arabians are out of the tournament. Russia and Uruguay will progress for Group A.
I don't know, let's talk about Egypt.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to begin. I had a lot of hopes, really.
Yeah, what really kicked them in the shin for me is that I think the coach did them in personally. What I was saying about negative and positive outlooks. In the first game, Egypt for me are not a team who soak up pressure and counter-attack. They've got very good attacking players. And they should just go out, guns blazing, play like that matches their final. They have to. But they didn't. They went out there until they lost the goal in the 90th minute. Then all of a sudden they got some fantastic energy and they're trying to score. They're putting over crosses, and the Uruguayan defense had never defended like that in their lives. Why couldn't they do that before the goal was scored and score a goal themselves?
Well, Mohavi, if you followed this Egyptian team right from the qualifiers, you definitely will know that they were going to struggle at the World Cup. I had the opportunity of following them and also watching their game in Alexandria. And you realize this team was built around one person. And they were always going to fail at the World Cup. Mind you, it was Ghana that we didn't do our things right. Egypt shouldn't have qualified for this year's World Cup.
But Ghana should have?
Yes.
You think we have a better
in terms
team?
of play.
If we wanted to, is that,
yeah,
again,
if we wanted to. Because
it's attitude. We didn't have the right attitude.
Their first qualifying game against Congo, if it wasn't Mohamed Salah, Egypt would have lost that game. And then they played against Ghana in Alexandria. Salah, same person, stepped up. The game against Uganda as well, it was the same Salah. And everything about the team, Hector Cooper, he was just setting the team up to fail in Russia, especially when Salah was not going to be available after he had picked up injury. So when Salah picked up injury, you realize that their trial matches they played, they lost. And the coach came out clearly to state that they were missing Mohamed Salah and that the results that were coming was because the main man wasn't around. So if you watch the Egyptian team that were used in 2004, where we had Abu Trika, we had El Hadari, Hosni, and all these players were playing, and at that point, you could see that from goalkeeping to striking, we had a very compact Egyptian team where they were not relying on one player. Zidane as well. In 2018 in Ghana, you saw how they played. They played like a team, not like a one-man team.
But you see, for me, when they played their first game against Uruguay, there was no Mohamed Salah.
Indeed.
Look, they did very well.
But they needed Salah to slot the ball in. There was no player to do that.
For me, what it is that, you see, there was a game of not even 2 halves. It's a game of 2 minutes and 90 minutes. They played 90 minutes, right, where they contained the Uruguayans very well. And in fact, if they had the same positive attitude that they had in the last 2 minutes of the game, I think they could have won that game. But it was a negative attitude that they had to contain and go for the draw. If you go for the draw, you will lose. It's as simple as that. I think if they had gone for the win, I think they could have beaten Uruguay.
So for the African teams, I'm starting to see that you probably think it's just a state of mind thing.
Yes.
It's not a skill thing, it's not a tactics thing, it's a state of mind.
They don't lack skill. Look, African teams have got a wealth of skill. You know, Black Stars have it, the Nigerians have it, but look what they went and did. Their state of mind, it wasn't good.
Even with Morocco as well.
Morocco, Renard. Look, you took Morocco, you got them through how? Positive attacking football.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden for their first game, he wants them to go and defend and counter-attack negative football. They are not used to that. The players cannot do that. You see, the second game, look how they were firing all cylinders.
Portugal.
That's right. That's how they should have played the first game. And if they played the first game like that and even got a draw, they would still have a chance.
So who's responsible for giving that right mindset?
It's the coach. You see, when I join a team, I don't join a team to say, oh, I play 4-4-2, I play 5-3-2, so you guys must play. No, I go there and I study the players, I watch them, and then I try various formations. And after each formation, I ask the player, how did you feel? How did you feel? How did you feel? Who did not feel comfortable? We really analyzed each formation. Then we go out and we play another formation. And the players, oh, coach, this formation wasn't really comfortable because we had to work too hard and we were stretched by the midfield. Then you take all the players' voices and their opinions into consideration. And in the end, I play about 6 to 8 different formations. In the end, the players whittle it down to about between 2 and 4 formations. And you get your top 2. So if the players fail, the coach can't be held responsible because we play the formation that you guys say that you feel comfortable playing. That's, for me, that's what a coach should do.
But by the time you're at a World Cup final, it's clearly too late to be going through such a thorough process.
That should have been done a long time.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
You don't wait till the World Cup final to do that.
So at this point, is state of mind still, being caused by this misunderstanding between coach and team?
Because coach, before you come in, yesterday Argentina did something similar. You know, throughout the qualifiers and even in their first game, they were stuck to a particular system. And yesterday he changed the system completely where he was playing 3-back. This is something you didn't even rehearse with the team when you were playing the qualifiers and even prior to the tournament. And even in the tournament, the first game was a different system. And then you come back to play a 3-back where you don't even have sharp wing backs to play. Players that are, rooted at their clubs as left backs and right backs, they use them for that formation of a 3-back. And how does that work?
This is the problem. It won't work because it's like a fish out of water. You see, what's happening? You've suddenly changed. What a good coach, for me, a good coach is one who gets the player to play his best every time, as many times as possible. And the only way you do that, and the best way you do that, is to make them as comfortable as possible in the position and the role you ask them to play. And if you're chopping and changing roles and putting them in situations which they're not used to or are comfortable in, you will have problems like Argentina has had.
We'll talk about Argentina when we get to that group where they are, but let's talk. Selwyn, take us through Group B.
Well, in Group B, it's the supposed group of death, and we can see Spain and Portugal over there, the Iberian derby rivals, and also Iran and Morocco. But it's quite disappointing that we have to highlight another African side that will be bowing out of the tournament. Morocco has been defeated twice in this tournament, and at the moment they have 0 points. Iran has 3 points because they beat Morocco at first, so Iran has a slim chance of qualifying out of this group. But we know Spain is through. They drew with Portugal in their first game, and then they also won their second game against Iran. It was a very slim win for them, difficult one over them. Portugal also beat Morocco 1-0 in their group. So at the moment we can see Spain is on top with 4 points, with 4 goals in favor of them. They've been scored 3 goals and they have 1 goal in favor of them. Portugal also have the same statistics with Spain. So at the moment, both of them are on top there, 4 points, and Iran has 3 points. Now, here's the trick. Iran has a chance of qualifying through this group because their next game is against Spain. And Portugal is also going to, Iran is going to play against Portugal, and Spain is going to play against Morocco. So if Iran beats Portugal, they get 6 points and they go through, while Spain and Morocco are going to battle it out over there to find their place to join who qualifies. Spain is going to play against Morocco. Morocco is out, but then to leave this tournament with pride, they definitely have to find a way of getting past Spain, and that will cause more trouble for Spain and Portugal. Iran has 3 points at the moment, but they are going to cause trouble for the 2 teams on top.
Yeah.
And I
like the way you say that, to leave the tournament with pride. They've got to win their last game.
And I tip Iran to qualify. Probably maybe.
Iran?
Yes, Iran. because
You're a betting man.
So what? Portugal and Iran?
No,
Spain,
I think,
Iran.
yeah, Spain, Iran.
Wow,
because-
that's a rather outside choice
Iran,
there.
Iran must beat Portugal to go through, and they've been playing some delightful football at this tournament. I mean, they beat Morocco. Morocco's mentality in the last minute of the game wasn't too compact that Iran won, and then Spain even made things difficult for Spain than even Portugal, Spain. If you watch that game, at a certain point, Iran should have even equalized. They actually equalized, and the goal was ruled offside. And in the last, I think it was just 2 minutes before the game, they had another opportunity that they actually outplayed Spain in that game. And if they go into the game against Portugal with the same mentality, I think that Iran can beat. And you know what is working for the Iran team? The Iran team, they have players that are playing same club football. Only 3 of their players play outside.
So they're familiar.
Iran. So let's say like 5 players in one particular team, 5 players in another team, and these players are put together. They only have 3 players that play in Spain. Apart from that, all the players are there.
And the other thing is they have a very good functioning league.
Exactly.
Which we
Their
don't have
league
yet.
is also.
Their league is very, very good.
Even we have some of our players here in Ghana wanting to play.
You know what? I mean, all you guys are football people. I support Iran for very political reasons.
Well, I'll tell you one person who is not from Iran who will be happy if your prediction comes to pass. Lionel Messi. Indeed, if he ends up not being the only player who's going home disappointed at the end of the first round.
Also going
indeed. But I wonder whether that will come to pass.
Yeah.
It's a very outside chance.
No, it's
but
not outside chance. But look
Iran
at the
is
football.
impressive.
Yeah, the football they
Yes.
played against Spain. If they should go into that game, same approach with that of Portugal, I think Iran can get.
So
something
are
out
you
of that.
saying, Coach de Graaf, that it's not a done deal that Portugal, Spain are through or they're going through?
No, it's not. It's not at all. There's still permutations, and that really has been put in by what's just been said about Iran. Iran, I love their attitude. They're scared of nobody, and they come out there and they're playing their football, which is what the Africans haven't done. The Africans have come out trying to play somebody else's football from the coach. Whereas the Iranians are playing, because each World Cup the Iranians come into, they play better. You see, this is why when they were playing Morocco, I thought, why are you playing like this? Iran will beat you. And that's exactly
And
what
Marvin, one thing that you have to know about the Iran team is that they have a very good manager as well. Carlos Queiroz managed Portugal, managed Real Madrid. He was the assistant coach, even assistant coach at Manchester United. And this is not the first time he's playing at the World
hence
Cup.
his positive attitude.
Yeah.
All those clubs are clubs that you cannot manage them or even coach there if you're negative minded. They'll kick you out.
Can I ask, is the World Cup a place where coaches also go to scouts? Are people playing so that other coaches would see them, identify them?
Big time. You are on the biggest sales pitch. You're doing your biggest sales pitch ever.
Could that also result in the poor performance by the African teams? Because if we're not playing, we're not being ourselves, we're trying to impress someone, we're trying to get somebody to see us.
No, I think the poor performance of the Africans, for me, comes down to the coaches who are trying to get the players to play systems which the players are not comfortable in. But if you're a professional, when your coach comes in and say, look, this is a system we're playing, you cannot shirk it.
Yeah.
You've got a choice. You either fit yourself into that system or you're out. It's as simple as that, you see? And that should not be the case. The coach should get the system that suits the players. And I think in the Africans' case, they've got the problem. And I think the Argentines have made the same mistake. Because if you go through the Argentinian team, all the clubs they play for, they're not little players, they're not small. They're all top players. And if you can't get top players to perform in a certain manner, there's something wrong with you, the coach, not the players.
How much World Cup experience collectively do the African teams coaches have? Are there quite a few debutants in there, or
Heavy Renard, this is his first World Cup, and also Aliou Cissé, his first World Cup as a coach, but as a player, he captained Senegal the last time
He's
they were at
been to the World Cup, so he's got that feel.
Yeah, so actually 2002 when they played very well, which was their last World Cup before this one. He was the captain of the team that they beat France and all that. And you look at the other teams, Tunisia, their coach as well. This is his first appearance at the World Cup. that of which other team? Nigeria. It's also his first time at the World Cup.
I thought there might be something like that, some sort of pattern like that running through, because it appears that some of the choices that they're making it just demonstrates that perhaps they haven't been through this kind of pressure before. They haven't been through this kind of ceremony and pomp and pageantry and expectation before. Do you think that might be a factor?
Overwhelmed?
I'm starting to think so.
I would back that up, but then that goes back to the federations who select those coaches. How do you select your coach? What attitude? The coach's previous clubs, wherever he was, previous teams, what attitude did he have? But in the case of Renard, they would have got it all wrong, because generally his teams have been positive in winning the African Cups of Nations. Yeah. They've played positive football. Come the World Cup, he changes it for the first game. Second game, they play much better when he goes back to his original attitude and strategy. You see? So I'll go with that. Yes, they probably underestimated. Well, I can't see how you can underestimate the level of the World Cup.
Selwyn, let's go through the next group.
So Group C, the obvious leaders are going to be France. I mean, they're expected to be out of this group and probably contenders of winning the tournament as a whole. They've won their first 2 games and they are through to the next round. They beat Peru yesterday also, and then they beat Australia. A slim win, a debatable win over there, but then they are through with 3 points over there. So at the moment, France has 3 goals in advantage. They've been defeated with just 1 goal, so 2+ goals, 6 points. Denmark also, they won their first game against Peru. That was a very slim win, a 1-0 win over there. So they have 2 goals in favor of them, 1 goal against them, and then they have 1 goal in favor. So 4 points for Denmark. Australia also have a slim chance of qualifying still, because they just have 1 point, but then they have a game with the Peruvians to give them that chance to go through. France will be playing against Denmark to battle themselves who takes their top spot and then the second place. So France already through. Denmark will have to win against France to make sure that they seal their place in the next round. Australia would have to beat the Danes, to get through to the next round, because they have 1 point and they need 3 points to go through. Peru is already out, they have no chance, but what they have to do is to just disturb the other teams on top of them.
Yeah. So what, Selwyn, if Denmark draws, they've got a chance, they will be second?
Yeah, they have a chance. If they draw, they could go through, because they will get 5 points over there, and Australia will have 3 points if they win, but then 4 points will be enough for them.
Okay. All right, so who makes it?
Not much to talk about this group. France
is already gone. France is a done deal.
Yeah, they're already through. And Denmark just have to get a draw to go through. So Australia, Peru likely to go out.
Was I the only one who was just terribly bored to death by Australia in this World Cup?
Well, Australia has never been an exciting team.
Exactly.
That's how Australia played. Australia, Iceland are not particularly exciting. What those teams do, they've got the basic football tight. And any team that has the basic football type, difficult to beat, because they play by the textbook. You see, so you have to have an extra bit of skill, technique, and surprise in order to beat them. But they will match you all the way, and it's very difficult to get a high-scoring game against those guys.
All right. So let's go to the next group.
Well, so yeah, Group D is a group that everybody's talking about. We're expecting Argentina to be going through at the moment, but then we can see where they are with just 1 point, but they still have a chance. Croatia has won their first 2 games, beating Nigeria in their first game over there. That gave them 3 points, and then yesterday they destroyed Argentina 3-0. So at the moment, Croatia has 5 goals. They've not conceded any goal, so they are through 6 points, no problem with them. Iceland, the troublemakers in this group, they disturbed Argentina, drew with them. And then today they are playing against Nigeria. That's a big one for Nigeria, because these Icelanders, they are forces to reckon with. And at the moment, they also have 0 goals, but just 1 point. A win today for them will give them 4 points against Nigeria. If Nigeria should win, they'll have 3 points and they'll go ahead of Argentina. Argentina, we saw them lose yesterday to Croatia, so they just have 1 point from the draw that they had with Iceland in their first game. So Argentina has 1 point at the moment, minus 3 goals. Nigeria has 0 points at the moment, minus 2 goals.
So let's look at the dynamics and the permutations, how Argentina can go through. Now, you see where Iceland are. They have a point with what? Goal difference of 0. Argentina, by virtue of shipping in 3 goals, now is -3. And Nigeria. So even if Nigeria should win their game against Iceland today, and then Nigeria will get 3 points, they will come second. Argentina will still be in to qualify. All Argentina must do is to win their last game against Nigeria. 3 goals, they are through. Now, if Iceland should win,
You're saying that like it's easy to do.
no, that's what I'm saying. That these are permutations. Now,
I'm listening very
attentively. Now, should Iceland win? But I'm just giving the
Okay, yeah, so I appreciate that.
just giving the Lionel Messi fans out there some bit of hope.
Okay, all right, let's hope.
Now, you know, if Iceland should also win, Iceland will get 4 points. Now, Iceland with 4 points, Argentina already with a point. What Argentina must do in their last game is they must then score Nigeria, not less than 4, depending on the results in the game involving Croatia and Iceland. So if Croatia and Iceland should draw, or if Iceland should even win that game, then that's it. If Iceland should go ahead and beat Nigeria and beat Croatia, Argentina out. But if Iceland should beat Nigeria today and go ahead and draw in their game against Croatia, Argentina out. So all Argentina need now is for Nigeria either to win or Iceland still win, and Iceland should lose their last game against Croatia for them to win not less than 4 goals and can still go to
Give me 5.
Okay, so Coach Digrat, this is reality. What looks real from what Benedict said? What
You know
looks
what?
real?
The Argentinians, I hope they get knocked out in this first round. Because they're one of those teams who, if they get through to the next round,
they will trouble.
their mentality changes and they become a totally different team.
They can go a long way to win.
Right now, they're the type of people who look like they're so scared of losing they don't play. Now their backs are against the wall. Nigeria, now, I think that Iceland, it may be a draw. I mean, the way Nigerian played, I think they must raise their game, and I think that this could be a drawn game. And if that's a drawn game,
Just nice up.
the Argentines could be in. Because if the drawn game is 2 points,
2 points as against one game.
Argentina beats Nigeria, which at the moment, the way the Nigerians are playing, I think that's on the cards. They get 3 points. They go through by the skin of their teeth. They get to the next round, they will be a totally different team, believe me.
Can we talk about Messi as a captain, Kojo, just before you come in? You know, sometimes you expect that when the game is not going according to how you think it should be going, like somebody should be shouting and be, you know, saying things to fellow players. So as a coach, you're not there.
Lionel Messi? Lionel Messi's a god. In Argentina, Lionel Messi's a god. You don't shout at Lionel Messi.
He should say something to
wants Lionel Messi
his
to be
teammates.
shouting and, you know, raising his hands,
something.
clapping.
You want Messi to do the shouting?
No,
Yes,
Right.
That's the problem. Maradona was a
let's do
nutcase. Maradona was a nutcase, and
Did you see
Maradona,
him yesterday?
yeah,
Broke
and
my
and 86 when they won that World Cup, it's like you don't see him shout, but off the pitch, they said that he would give it to you any which way he can. So when you go out on that pitch to play with him, you're scared of playing badly. So just the fear pushes you on to give your best, and that's what happened.
Well, I think it's got to do with character.
Indeed.
It's got to do with character. Lionel
Messi
is the type
is Messi, right?
Yes.
Let me just say this though. We may be underestimating the weight of the pressure on Messi.
Yeah.
Even before they arrived at this World Cup, after that Herculean struggle to make it to the finals.
Yeah.
He is that one, let's call him football god from Argentina, who is yet to meet the Maradona standard because he hasn't won a World Cup with Argentina. This is really it for him. This is the stage where they expect him to finally do that one thing that will make him the greatest.
Yeah, especially with his age, that they think that this probably could be his last World
Now,
Cup.
while all of this is going on, we have Cristiano Ronaldo, his #1 rival, who has a fantastic first game and second game, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, all of this must double, triple the pressure on poor Messi, who, let's be fair to him, gallons of natural talent, not even 1/10 of the focus that I've seen from Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
You know, but the things he is capable of, I don't think Ronaldo can even dream them up.
Yeah.
But the focus is what is pushing Ronaldo farther than Messi in this tournament.
You know, the honest truth, all right, is that social media, the public or whatever, love this rivalry. But Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo do not go home thinking about each other. see if they don't. As a coach, I don't go home thinking about what the other no, you're not interested in that. You focus on your own game, because that thinking about the other guy is actually destructive. It's very destructive indeed. And all players, all your life, you're used to playing with guys who are good players. In fact, you say, yeah, he's a good player, whatever, rather than, oh, he's a rival, I've got to do better than him. Honestly, I think it's the general public that make a big meal of that, because it sells newspapers, it sells space on the internet.
Absolutely.
It's great for TV, great for radio.
The women love to talk about the two as well.
I do want us to look at something though. Guys, I wonder if we can find this. At the very beginning of yesterday's Argentina match, while the national anthem was playing, can we see that bit where they showed Lionel Messi? I want to show you guys something.
Yeah.
That tells you that, look, this guy is carrying some demons along.
Yes, the demon. Yeah, the pressure. I totally 100% agree with you about the pressure. Look, the pressure of being the captain of Argentina. Argentinians are crazy about football. 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Every match, Division 3, whatever is on TV is analyzed to death. They have nothing else. If you remove football from Argentina, well, the whole country will collapse, because they have nothing else to do. They have focused their lives on football, and lately they're getting the basketball players, rugby players, they're bringing the other sports in gradually. But football, they are football mad, so there's a lot of pressure on Lionel. Look what happened when he says he's retiring. The nation begged him to come back, and he could not say no. If he had said no, then Lionel, don't come back.
Just before we move to Selwyn to see what the other group looks like, just before we wrap up on this whole Argentinian team, the coach, he still has a job to go back to.
Argentinian coach? Ooh.
Yeah,
I don't think
He may afford those tight t-shirts.
he may not even go back to Argentina. He's in trouble.
He's in trouble. A country to go back to.
Thank you. He's in trouble if they don't perform. And right now, everybody's finger is pointing at the coach.
Yeah.
You see?
Do we have that clip?
So they're pointing at the coach. He's in trouble.
Yeah.
And I don't think he'll have a job. I think the best thing for him is to resign. Don't wait for them to sack him.
All right, Selwyn.
So in Group E, after the first round, we'll be expecting Brazil to be on top, but no, we have Serbia over there with 3 points, because in their first game they won against Costa Rica, and then Brazil also drew with Switzerland, and that's why we have this here right now. So Serbia with just 1 goal after beating the Costa Ricans over there with 3 points over there, and Brazil drawing Switzerland 1 goal. No goal for each of them, 0-0, and they have 1 point each. Now today is when they are playing their games, and we're expecting Brazil to play against Costa Rica, and Serbia battle it out with Switzerland. It's a European derby, but Brazil is a CONCACAF and CONMEBOL thing going on there, so they know each other there, but we're expecting Brazil to take this game easily. But then you don't know. With the surprises in this tournament, we can't just predict at the moment. Costa Rica could just be a surprise against Brazil. With Serbia, I'm going to play against Serbia. It's an open game. 2 teams with so much talent, with players playing in Europe over there. So we're expecting everything in this game. Anything could happen in this group. We still can't decide who is going to top at them. Serbia at the moment with 3 points. Brazil has 1 point. Switzerland has 1. Costa Rica has 0 points. If Brazil should win against Costa Rica today, they have 4 points and they go on top. If Serbia should beat Switzerland, they are going through with 6 points.
Benedict is good at telling us how each team could make it.
Well, but even before we go into that, I think at times it's always good for a team to play in a World Cup and miss the next World Cup and qualify. So you set up your team well, and probably maybe the things that you did that were not right, you're able to, like what's happening to Ghana. I think that if you're able to qualify for the next World Cup, we'll do things right and Ghana will do very well. I'm referring to Serbia. No. Serbia, you know, Serbia, their last World Cup was in the 2010 World Cup. Yeah. Last 4 years, they couldn't make it. Yeah, they couldn't make it. And now they realize that, and even at the 2014 World Cup, they couldn't qualify. Now we were in the same group with them. We beat them 2-1. And they get an opportunity to come to this year's World Cup. They've changed so many things about the team, and now they are playing some delightful football. That's where you see them on top of the table there. Their first game that I watched was a total different team that I saw in the World Cup in 2010. And that explains why they couldn't make it to the next tournament in 2014. Now, you look at the setting of the group. Yes, as Selwyn mentioned, by now you would think that Brazil should be on top because of the players they have and how well they played in the qualifiers. Brazil actually were the first team to qualify for this year's World Cup. They were the first team to qualify. They topped their group. You know how theirs is not like the one we have here in Africa, where we have 5 groups of teams made up of 4.
This is a marathon.
It's a marathon. You all play all.
Yes.
So it's like a league table. Like we have 16 teams. You play all the teams. So then we'll pick the first 4, and the last 2 will go in for the playoff. Then we'll get the teams that will represent the South Americans for the World Cup. But you look at Brazil, their trial matches they played. They played 3 games against Croatia. They played also against Austria. And I think Switzerland, no, not Switzerland, one other team, which they all won. And Neymar had come from injury. Neymar played very well in that game. And the first game he played in about 4 months because of his injury at Paris Saint-Germain was against Croatia. And when he came on, he scored a goal. And looking at Neymar's performance in those games, you would think that Neymar is coming to complement the other players who have done so well at their club, because Brazil assembled a team that from goalkeeping to striking, all players picked up forms at their respective clubs. Alisson and Roma, they are number 1, and even now, clubs like Real Madrid, Liverpool are chasing for him. You look at their defense, Casemiro, Marcelo, doesn't know these players at their club level. So they put together a couple of players that were playing very well at their club level that you think, oh, Brazil should just come and score everybody at this year's World Cup. But Switzerland gave them, showed them that it's not about what's on paper, it's not about the names, it's not about the quality you have, but it's about the tactics you employ on the day of the game. And that's what Switzerland did. Now they go into a game against Costa Rica, another difficult team to crack. That's why I fear for Brazil, just as we are talking about Argentina. I think that probably maybe by close of today, we'll also be talking about Brazil trying to find their way through.
See, we're talking about gods in football, all right? Neymar should have been taken off.
Yeah.
He's got bad attitude. You see, Neymar has not learned something that Cristiano Ronaldo has learned. If you, from each penalty box, if you come out 10 yards and draw a line, in that center area, if you play football like Neymar, you are likely to get injured.
Yeah.
They won't let you play.
You hold
I'm
on
a
to ball.
midfielder.
You stand on
I'm
the
a
ball.
midfielder. You play like that, I will stay on you and you will not play. And that's what they did to Cristiano Ronaldo in previous tournaments. Have you noticed that in this tournament, he's doing 90% of his dribbling just outside the box?
Exactly.
That's free kick area.
You just have to be
if
effective.
you've got sense and you're a skillful player, that's what you do.
But if you're looking for attention,
That's what Neymar is looking for.
Then you don't have sense. If you're a professional footballer and you're just looking for attention, that is not sensible. You know, you're a professional footballer. Be professional. Show that you are the best in your craft. All right, and he didn't.
And mind you, you're going to see a different hairstyle today. He's changed his hairstyle again. Yeah.
I said it. The ladies love it. So you guys look at the other side. We look at the other side as well. Let's open the phone lines now. Let's get everybody watching us to join the conversation now. So give us a call. 0302-211-6910. 0302-211-6910. Give us a quick call right now. Selwyn, take us through the next group.
Well, another group that surprises. I mean, this World Cup is full of surprises already. And Germany, it's sitting here with 0 points. Sweden is on top with 3 points. They beat Korea Republic the last time they played, and it was a controversial. The VAR was in context this time for Sweden to get a penalty to win this game. And Sweden's on top with 3 points, 1 goal. Now Mexico were the team to watch. I mean, we saw how they played against Germany. They destroyed Germany. But then it was even quite disappointing that they got only 1 goal. People expecting them to get more goals. So Mexico sits on top of Germany with 3 points. Germany here with 0 points. And now they have to encounter them. So Germany will have to win. Definitely, they don't have any chance, seeing the way the other contending champions are suffering their games at the moment. Germany can't take this lightly. They're playing a next game against Sweden, and hopefully they are trying to get a point from there. Korea Republic at the point in this group, looking at them, they don't look like they're going to survive, because it looks like Mexico, Germany are going to give them more trouble for Korea to get through. Sweden at the moment with 3 points, Mexico with 3 points, Germany 0 points, trying to fight for themselves tomorrow. Korea Republic also almost out.
You know,
can we talk about the VAR?
Oh, okay.
Has it lived up to, did we really need it?
I think the referees are fighting their pride, and they're fighting against the VAR, because they're not putting they don't realize the VAR is a great aid for them, but they're fighting it. I can do without the VAR. That is not a good attitude. Any doubt, go for VAR. You see, don't fight it.
I get a bit confused. Do they call for it? The other referees, do they have to call his attention or what?
Only the central referee. Okay. Yes, the central referee is the one who calls for the VAR. So he can coordinate with his assistants. And if his assistant said yes, there's some doubt, go for it, then they all collaborate, and he's the only one who can call for it.
But has this World Cup been better for it? You know, has it been better because we have VAR?
Well, I think
More accurate.
More accurate, yes, and I think it's good we have VAR now because one, it's got to do with if it's a penalty decision that you're in doubt, you refer. Also, if it's got to do with an off-ball incident like we saw in the game, I think involving Petrovic, one of the games, it was an off-ball incident. The player just slapped an opponent. The referee was not even looking, and his attention was called to it, so they went to check, and it was actually a slap, and he was given a yellow card. So it's got to do with penalty decisions, off-ball incidents, and then offside as well.
Okay,
you know,
can you just land there? Let's speak to Collins before we lose him. He's joining us on the phone. Is it Collins or Simon? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, madam.
Hello, good morning, Simon. You're on air. Please go ahead.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Sure. Let's hear you.
Yeah, please, talking about Argentina's, I am Kuila Simon. Yeah,
Okay,
please, talk about Messi's performance
Simon, hang
in
on.
this World
Simon, turn down the volume on your television set. Then we can get a
Now it's
conversation.
better.
Okay, yeah. Let's go ahead.
Please, I'm to talk about Messi's performance, the ongoing World Cup. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Messi actually, in fact, he faced Iceland like Goliath faced David. And I'm thinking Messi should have even been substituted yesterday by the coach. You know, talking about Messi being the so-called career of Argentina's team. In fact, it was not helping at all. And I am telling you, Messi will play till the end of this World Cup. He will never get a single goal because he's traumatized.
Charlie, is it a prophecy?
No, it's not a case. If coach should have studied Messi very well from the first appearance, he should have even used. He should have not even used the guy in the second match yesterday.
Okay, all right.
Because missing the first penalty, the guy was very, very traumatized. And I'm telling you and assuring you that meeting the next team, Messi, they are going to perform worse more than what they did yesterday.
Okay, I'm marking your words, Simon. Thank you very much. We have to leave it here and speak to Daniel. And please, when you call, make it really brief so we can speak to as many people as possible. And turn on the volume on your television set when you give us a call. Good morning, Daniel. Hello, Daniel. Okay, we've lost Daniel. Apologies. Please give us a quick call. 0302-211-69102.
Yeah, so the VAR for me has made the World Cup better in terms of decisions. Yeah, I mean, there have been penalty calls. Yesterday, for instance, there was a game that there was a penalty call. The referee didn't say, they referred to it, and then we came back, and the penalty was duly awarded. I mean, yeah, if you support a team...
Has the use been consistent?
Oh, no. Well, in terms of the consistency, no. Because there have been certain calls that they've overlooked that I thought that they should have referred to VAR. Clear penalties that referees overlooked, and they didn't consult VAR. So at a certain point, I was asking myself, there is VAR, so why don't you go and watch? Then you watch the replay and you realize that this was a clear foul.
That's what I'm saying. The referees are battling against the VAR. Yeah. It's like, oh, I can see it well, so I don't need to go for it. But if there's a doubt, any doubt, go for it.
But we are now sounding like we all embraced VAR.
Course,
we thought it was going to slow the games down.
Has
it?
You've got to be an old
Has it slowed the game down?
Even if it slows the game down, it's for the better of the game and also for the fans. Because if you support a team and you're so much into the team and there is a call that goes against your team that you saw and you watched replay that this should have gone for us. Of course.
It doesn't slow. Sorry, go ahead.
It doesn't slow.
So I was simply going to say it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense why there would be pushback against something that removes doubt.
Thank you.
Let's speak to James.
Who's their boss? Colina, right? The referees. Where does he stand on it?
Let's speak to James before we lose him. James and Richard. I'll come to you, Richard, but let's speak to James first. Good morning, James.
Good morning, Mama V. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Thanks for your call. Let's hear you.
For me, I think Argentina, they made a mistake in the first place, bringing old men to the tournament and you expect them to run and be playing very well like any other team. It's quite ridiculous because I was looking at Mascherano. He's around 34 or 33, and you could see the players like Mandzukic, Rakitic, Kovacic, Modric, and the like. They look very young and very strong. They run, they tackle, and in fact, I also realized that there was no sense in benching Dybala. You see, I was thinking that you play Paulo Dybala, you let him play around, and then you create the space for Messi to also play. He really lost it, and I'm not sure they are going to progress to the next phase. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, you sound really disappointed. Sorry.
Oh, sure. Because I was thinking that Argentina was going to repeat what they did last year. So at least if they're able to get to the quarters or the semis, then they could do well. And then probably lift the trophy to make Messi complete. But they lost it.
All right. Let's speak to Richard. Richard, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mama V.
Yes, Richard. Thanks for calling.
Yes,
you don't sound so disappointed, so you're not...
I am disappointed, Mama V. Actually, I'm disappointed about what is happening to Messi. Though I would love Nigeria to qualify, but I have to be very honest. I think I would love Argentina to qualify more than it because of Messi. Because of Messi. And I think Benedict Owusu and the coach, De Graaf, they are making some fantastic analysis over there. Looking at Egypt, I think Ghana, if we had done our homework before, we would have qualified, because looking at how Egypt is playing at this year's World Cup, everything is centered around Mohamed Salah, which is not going on well for the Egyptians. But hoping that today Nigeria will win against Iceland, and Argentina winning against Nigeria, and I'll be a little bit relieved because Ronaldo is going. And yes, we are always going to compare Ronaldo and Messi. Everybody knows that Messi is a fantastic player. Messi, to me, is the best player in the world, because if Messi is compared to Maradona and then Ronaldo is compared to Messi, then that should tell you that there's a big difference between the two players.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
all right. Richard and Dansuman, we appreciate your call. Let's speak to Seth. Seth is in Kumasi. Good morning, Seth.
I'm watching you from my room, and I'm very, very excited and happy.
Thank you for watching. We love the fact that you're watching.
For the performance of Lionel Messi. Because as a big and die-hard Ronaldo fan, I want him to lose totally so we can take the world best. I'm very, very much excited. I'm praying, I'm begging the Nigerians. This Argentina team is just like any small team. They should not let them take the victory from them.
Okay.
At least a draw will be for them. Nigeria, please and please. This Messi is just like you. You are even playing better than him. Don't let him score, please.
Hey.
And I'm putting one Ghana CD on it.
Hey.
If you're able to hold them to thank you.
One Ghana for your pocket. Thank you very much.
Putting his money where his mouth is, right?
I think, Kojo, you are onto something.
Yes. I was simply asking about Colina, you know, as such an influential person in the referee community. Where does he stand on VAR? And are referees going to follow his cue?
Referees right now, soccer, football, could no longer hold back on VAR. Rugby, tennis, I think, was the first to start using it for their line calls and so forth. The rugby, tennis, even cricket have been using it. They can even put where the ball is supposed to be. Come on, we have technology. Anybody who shirks technology now, you're an old fogey, you're outdated, and your performance and your system is never going to be as efficient as it should be. For me, there hasn't been any delays. Whenever there's a penalty, offside call, there's always arguments. So what they do is that they're doing the VAR during the arguments, which is great. So by the time the arguments have gone a little way, the answers come in and that's it. So the VAR really, for me, has not slowed down the game for me.
One more thing.
Wait, hang on. I want Selwyn to just run through quickly the rest of the groups before we miss that, because we don't have a lot of time here right now.
Right, so Belgium obviously beat Panama in their first game. That's why they have 3 points here today. England also had a chance to win their game, and they did in the last minutes of the game, beating Tunisia 2-1, and that's why they have 3 points over here. And Tunisia has 0 points, and Panama, not expected for them to progress in this group, has 0 points. But at the moment, tomorrow we're going to have Belgium play Tunisia. That's a very, very, very tough game over there. And also England is going to play Panama. We expect Panama to lose that game over there. So probably this group already should be decided at the moment, because Belgium looks like they'll be going through. England looks like they'll be going through, so we're going to have them. In Group H, that's the last group, that's a group of interest. So Africans, Senegal making us proud over there, winning their first game against the Polish, and which was a very interesting game for them as well. But then they got a victory out of there. Japan also beats Colombia, a very debatable one when it comes to the VAR coming into context in this game as well. But then the next game is going to be against Poland, and Senegal is going to play against Colombia. Tough games coming in, and interesting groups up there. So we should be expecting more.
Okay. All right. I want us to box the two groups together. I was hoping we talk about Senegal. We talk about the highly
England.
overhyped English team. But Benedict is here. I'm sitting too close, so I won't say any bad thing. So you know, where do you want to begin? Okay. All right.
Can I kick off, please?
Yes.
I'd like to say Tunisia. Very well done, Tunisia. Lost, but I love their attitude. It's not all about winning. Even when you lose, you should be able to come off the pitch and people say, that was a good, hearty performance. Well done, improve on that. Now Senegal, I must say the honest truth, I've got some question marks in my mind. Apart from both of their goals were both very fortuitous. The first one, the ball was going off, you know, he'd missed the shot and it got a rebound in. But what I'll say about that is that you can't score that sort of goal from your own penalty area. Of course. So they must have done some work to get there and force that pressure. Second one, the player that came on, if I was a referee, I don't think I would have allowed that goal. But the referee actually signaled for the player to come on. The guy who did the back pass did not know that the guy was going to come back on. And also the defender was surprised to see that, whoa, this guy's here. Where did he come from? It was too late. But apart from those two, I didn't see much else from Senegal. So great, their energy, their positivity got them the win. Fantastic. Now, they're going to have to play a much more consistent and constructive game to go through.
Well said, because I watched the Senegal game as well, and even with the first one, Sionic, the player, that's the player that the ball bounced off, it was just a fortunate goal for Senegal, same as the second goal. Niang was out, and then the referee signaled him to come. And if you're a defender, you definitely will not know a player was coming because it was not even in play.
I felt sorry.
Very, very sorry. When the ball was played, he just came onto the pitch and just ran and went and slotted that ball in. But Senegal must work very hard in terms of creating their own goal scoring opportunities. You won't have to wait to benefit from, you know, howlers like this. You have to work out. And for Sadio Mane and Niang and the other guys, the coach must really do something about their attack. Defense, very solid. Midfield, they have good players. Ghana of Everton and then Sadio Mane. These are players that have played together.
He had Mane playing in the midfield, didn't he?
Yeah, Mane was playing in the midfield. He was playing in the midfield. He wasn't playing a position we normally see him at Liverpool. Right. He was playing in the midfield.
I was just checking that to make sure I saw the right thing.
No, he was playing in midfield because they have more advanced players in attack that did very well in their club level. But he must really work on the attack and the players' mentality as to how to get the goals in. If they do that, I think Senegal can go very far. And I have to talk about my own England because England to win this year's World Cup. Oh yes,
I'm backing you on that.
I think they will go far, but winning, I don't think they're ready. But the way the World Cup and the results are going, everybody's got a chance. Because all the teams we expected to be up there, they're not doing the business. So hey, why not? But I still think that with the youth they've got and the attitude, it's a newfound attitude. And what I like about England, they're starting to kick out that racism that's always been there. They're starting to kick it out. They don't mind having 3, 4, 5 black players or mixed race players on the pitch. Before, it's 1 or 2 and that's it.
But now they have more than 4.
That's right. Their attitude has changed. So yes, I think they will go far, but I don't quite think that this one is for them. I think the next one.
Yeah,
the Euros, I think, will be for them, and then the World Cup.
All right.
Well,
so we'll have to end the conversation here.
What a pity.
Yeah.
I was just
but
going to
we'll
say...
bring the moments every Friday, so...
Yes, indeed.
Just to wrap up and say, we've got the Brazil-Costa Rica game today, Nigeria, Iceland, Serbia, Switzerland. You can catch the commentary live on Joy 99.7 FM. It's also live on Adum 106.3 and 94.7 as Sempar. And of course, our social media handles will give you the updates. We will be back next week, Friday, on the World Cup moment. Coach de Graft, thank you very much, as
thank
always.
you very much. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I don't have to say thank you to you. Thank you, Selwyn.